What if a fruit could reduce the low-grade inflammation that speeds up your aging, protect your skin from the sun, and take care of your brain at the same time? I'm Dr. Borja Bandera, and today I'll reveal the anti-aging benefits of pomegranate. In less than 10 minutes, you'll know why this stands out above other fruits. What's the best consumption frequency? How can you get the most out of it? Whether supplements are necessary and the mistakes you make when eating it. Look, aging happens, but it's not just because of the years. It's more about the damage, and that's one of those physiological effects we want to avoid at all costs. It's called Inflame, and GIM stands for Inflammation and Aging. Do you understand? Coined by Claudio Franceschi in 2000. It is defined by chronic inflammation, meaning long-term and systemic, affecting the whole body, not just the wrist or ankle. There are no microorganisms involved, and it is low-grade, developing alongside aging and caused by a dysregulation of your immune system. The main downside is that it serves no purpose and gradually wears us down. Why do I say this? Because acute inflammation is helpful, aiding tissue healing, such as with a sprained ankle. Chronic inflammation drains your homeostatic reserves. We're mentioning this in a video about pomegranate for one reason: inflammation. And inflammation is currently considered the common underlying risk factor for most age-related chronic diseases. And Borja, can it be modified? Of course, the most important thing is to maintain the training, rest, and nutrition habits that we share with you on this channel. But today, specifically, we will talk about a particular element in the nutritional layer that by itself won't eradicate chronic inflammation, but it does help in that direction. Because it has special characteristics supported by evidence. The pomegranate, Punica granatum, is a fruit from the Lythra family, native to the region from Iran to the Himalayas. However, did you know that it has been cultivated since ancient times throughout the Mediterranean basin, and today it can be consumed all over the world? Nutritionally, it is low in calories, with only 80 calories per 100 grams. It contains about 13 grams of simple sugars and about 5 grams of fiber in the same amount. And although it contains more than 15 vitamins and minerals, what really stands out in the pomegranate are its bioactive antioxidant compounds. Yes, both the seeds inside that you eat. I'm not going to open it now. Like membranous layers that separate them, which are called tastanas, like the skin. What is this that I'm touching? The pericarp contains groups of polyphenols in large quantities, punicalagens, ellagic acid, and anthocyanins. These compounds are also metabolized into other potent ones, notably urolithin. I'll explain to you right away what it's for, but let me tell you that it's powerful for anti-aging. Fun fact, the peel or pericarp accounts for nearly half the fruit's weight. In the end, the seeds are tiny and don't weigh much, but that's where most of these polyphenols are concentrated. You can't eat them, right? What should we do, Borja? How can I use this? I'll share at the end of the video. Ever wondered what buttons these compounds push to slow aging? There are basically 5. I'll explain now because it's fascinating. Pomegranate and its compounds inhibit nuclear factor kappa B and activate nuclear factor erythroid 2 related factor 2. I'll explain what that means soon. On a molecular level, the polyphenols in pomegranate impact cellular mechanisms related to aging. Specifically, it turns off nuclear factor kappa B, a pathway that is overactivated in Inflammaging, which I mentioned earlier, and it activates nuclear factor erythroid 2 related factor 2, the anti-aging switch in your cells that I explained in this video. Second, you'll want to protect your skin from environmental damage. The compounds in pomegranate reduce the expression of metalloproteinases types 1, 3, and 9. What were these again? They were the proteins that broke down skin collagen to allow new collagen to form. When overexpressed, you lose more collagen than you make. In animal models, it also boosts type 1 procollagen and hyaluronic acid synthesis in humans. Most interestingly, it raises the erythema threshold from ultraviolet B, making you more resistant to sunburn. It also benefits the skin microbiome because you don't just have microbes in your gut but also on your skin. The result is less photoaging and greater dermal integrity. The role of pomegranate in the skin is so interesting that it deserves another video, which I'll leave up to you to decide. Should we do it or not? Let me know. What does the brain do in Alzheimer's and Parkinson's models? Pomegranate polyphenols reduce neuroinflammation, oxidative stress, and amyloid formation. They also improve synapses, connectivity, and memory. Part of this effect comes from urolithin A, which are microbial metabolites of pomegranate elagitanins. This urolithin A crosses the blood-brain barrier and stimulates mitofascial activity. Mitochondria, phagi means eating, is basically a mitochondrial recycling mechanism, which, as you know, is also crucial in anti-aging. Remember that after the 5th benefit, I'll tell you how to get the most out of pomegranate to obtain all these advantages I'm telling you about. Let's go with the 4th one. One of the main benefits of pomegranate, or one of its distinguishing factors compared to other fruits, is its modulation of the microbiome. It does more than provide fiber, it actually does 3 things. Intestinal gamma-aminobutyric acid, a depressive neurotransmitter, stimulates short-chain fatty acid production, which has a systemic anti-inflammatory effect. Are you aware of this? It's also common in other fiber sources. But it also produces urolithin A. Actually, your bacteria do. Urolithin A isn't present here, only things that are. They reach your digestive system and the bacteria metabolize them, generating that urolithin, explained in a technical way. When you eat pomegranate, your microbes transform the L-acetannins, the product from the pomegranate. The 3rd benefit is that the pomegranate from Granada. The 3rd benefit that the pomegranate, the 3rd benefit from Granada. The 3rd benefit is that the pomegranate from Granada, the 3rd pomegranate is a 3rd, the pomegranate the 3rd, the pomegranate product benefit, that pomegranate grassoteria is a product of grassoteria, and finally, in preliminary trials, pomegranate extracts, different from eating the whole fruit, improve endothelial health and reduce blood pressure, because they can decrease the activity of angiotensin-converting enzyme, the angiotensin-converting enzyme. Now then, how have you been introduced to this fruit? How should you eat it to really get health benefits? Because it won't be enough to eat it just once in a while, only when I feel like it, right? That's how we usually eat it. If you're going to choose to eat the fruit, I recommend the following. If you're an active person who trains hard, has a good body composition, and good insulin sensitivity, is it okay to have pomegranate juice once or twice a week? I'm setting these conditions because a ripe pomegranate contains about 13 grams of simple sugars per 100 grams. As part of your recovery strategy after your Zone 2 workout, it might be interesting to have this pomegranate juice, which also tastes really good. If you're overweight or obese, it's best to try the next option. What makes this one beneficial? The advantage is that the tannins are more concentrated in the mesocarps, which are the tastanas, those bitter membranes. That stuff you try to remove with your fingers to keep just the seeds, well, you can blend that by adding fiber. These polyphenols are so potent they cause the bitter taste in those membranes you dislike, right? Now, eating the seeds called areoles, which is what you do, what's more common, not the sweet seeds, the ones that have that beautiful color given by anthocyanins. This is useful, of course, but as I was saying, where are most punica ligands found? It's in the peel. Since eating it isn't feasible, it's too fibrous, it would make you feel terrible. Other options include infusing thin slices of washed peel or processing it into a powder to enrich yogurt, smoothies, or protein shakes. Don't overdo the dose, you'll just add extra fiber and antioxidants. As I said, be careful with digestive symptoms. Also, remember to establish some important synergies. Combine it with protein and healthy fats because that way you'll absorb the polyphenols better. Add prebiotic fiber such as inulin or beta-glucans to your diet. Why? Well, because this will help you produce more urolithin A in your digestive system. Okay, as I was saying, there are 3 different metabotypes, but I'll save that for another day. There are also standardized supplements rich in punica ligands and L-argitanin, but the current selection is quite poor. In fact, honestly, I'm thinking about formulating one with full gas, but I would need to know if you're interested or not, because it's a lot of work to formulate it. Remember that urolithin A is the most studied and well-known pro-mitophagy metabolite. If your microbiota doesn't produce it in sufficient amounts, this concentrated supplement could be very useful. Finally, there are also topical uses in creams or serums with pomegranate extract, anthocyanins, or pomegranate seed oil. What for? To fight the signs of photoaging, but here the evidence is more limited. I don't really know for whom then, it's truly interesting. Today's tips? Well, for people with photo-exposed skin or with early signs of photoaging. But remember, never replace topical sun protection with oral sun protection. Keep using sunscreen, protect yourself with your usual filters, and avoid sunburn. Perimenopause and menopause are conditions that affect different areas of interest: cognition, skin, and inflammation. In this case, I would prefer a standardized extract, at least with 40% ellagic acid. And as I said, the options are very limited. I've only found this one around here. Also, people with mild to moderate cardiometabolic risk can use it as a complementary anti-inflammatory dietary strategy. It does not replace medication, not at all. If you follow this channel, it's for anyone looking to optimize health, quality of life, and longevity as part of their anti-aging efforts. Nutritionally, what are the limitations? As usual, we're discussing a fruit, not a drug. The possibility of favorably modifying the course of chronic diseases is currently unknown. If it happens, it'll likely be with supplements, not the fruit. Most of the evidence we have is still in vitro and in animal models with promising results. That's true, but it's still preclinical evidence. Is there any interesting clinical evidence, especially in dermatology or in menopause, and any studies? I recommend using it as an extra nutritional tool for longevity alongside sleep, strength, VO, 2 max, and stress management. Pomegranate won't transform your face overnight, but it addresses key aspects of aging. Lower nuclear factor, kappa beta, higher nuclear factor, erythroid 2-related factor, 2 a protected dermal matrix, mitochondria better defended by urolithin A, and positive shifts in the microbiota. In short, it's a fruit to remember. Let me know if you want another anti-aging analysis. See you in the next video. Big hug, let's keep empowering.